is on. And you're the prey.
You jail revolutionary, but you can't jail a revolution.
Mind has to be liberated. Mind has to be liberated.
Blackness, that black power.
Episode 4. What's happening? YGB, we're back. Episode 4. This title, Get Up, Get Out, and Get Something. We are your hosts. I am KB.
And this is Shorty. What's good?
What's happening? Welcome back. Last week, our challenge was get off your ass. We hope you got off your ass. We hope you had a great week. We hope you didn't have time to think about your surroundings and think about us as a people, and you want to do something live. You're going to do your own part. You know, that's all we can ask each other, just to do our own part. So what's up? Welcome back, episode 4.
Yes, welcome. Okay, so the new challenge for this week is changing your mindset.
Thinking different.
Basically.
You know what I'm saying? Changing your reality.
And also, while learning to change your mindset and also being open to taking new approaches.
And I don't know weird shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But what you have to understand that if you've been losing, it's time to start winning.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds simple or maybe too simple, but as we done said since episode 1, we're going to keep it real. Not only that, but you got to believe. Yeah. And to change your mindset is something amazing. And you have all the tools to do it. So we're going to do them. So Ashley, how was your week?
I would say my week was pretty good with launch, last week.
Yeah, launch last week with 3 episodes. And this week we're back with another one.
What's up? Yes.
So did you get off your ass?
I sure did. And I would say I'm proud of myself because one thing that I said, I've been struggling with is staying consistent with as far as working out. I usually can get eating right down. So I've been consistent with working out like daily.
Yeah.
Getting a break, maybe 2 days or so.
I've just made better choices. Cleared out the whole refrigerator of all that bullshit. After that, we tried to stack it with fresh things, and that was a challenge for obvious reasons. Supermarkets kind of suck.
Yeah.
That's a whole different subject.
Yes. Another episode. I got off my ass. I tried to do my exercise at least 30 minutes a day like recommended. I kind of got a little interrupted because I went out of town for a few. Yeah. But it was a mini vacation to clear my mind after the lunch. And
so
you
it
need
felt good. That time to detox.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That was health as well. So I focused on health.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I focused on health. Now that my mind is clear and focused and I can exhale and I can breathe, I think that's perfect for this week. This week's episode is get up, get out, and get something. Changing your mindset.
Yeah.
Where do we start with that, Ashley?
I don't know. Maybe we can start where we kind of start changing our mindset, how it kind of happened for us, and what we mean by what it means to change your mindset. For me, I changed my mindset from thinking as an employee to a boss.
Yeah.
Like Damon Dash, would say, hustling for your last name and not your first. It just really makes you excited about just building for yourself and just betting on yourself and not someone else.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not you? That's betting on yourself. It's a beautiful thing. For me, it comes from a list of not wants, because when I wanted it, I never got it. But it came from a list of the things I don't want. The things I don't want are to live paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
The things I don't want are to be looked upon down. The things I don't want is to stand by while things happen. The things I don't want is to not have the funds to make something happen, to be a builder. I got fed up of not having and not being. So then it was crazy because I didn't want no more. I didn't want. And the more I didn't want, things started to happen. My mindset was changing. We started to see things around us change. And you have to put it in your face. You know what I'm saying? Out of sight, out of mind is real. You have to look at it every day. You have to face it every day as a challenge. And that's why this week's challenge is change your mindset so we can make something happen. One of the ways I like to make something happen is to look at it every day with a vision board. And that's ultimately our challenge this week, is for you to create a vision board, because we want you to look at it every day. What is your dream of a beautiful life for you, your family? Do you want to survive or do you want to live? Do you want to be your own boss? Now, if your job is your passion, you have found peace. And let nobody disrupt that, because that's live. If you want to be a veterinarian because you like helping animals and that's your job, whatever, don't let nobody tell you that job is restricting or commanding and you got to go out and do something else and you got to hire black people. Hey, go be a veterinarian or go be a doctor or something like that. No one's saying that. So if you have a lovely job, and that's your passion, by all means, get your paper and enjoy. But
there's a but. There's always a but.
A big old ass. A big one. If that ain't you, if you hate that shit, 40 hours look like 96 hours. If it's not what you want, if you think it's more out there because you didn't seen something, but you ain't had something, this just might be your episode. Because this is the entrepreneur episode. This is the one about making something happen, getting something changed. And it got to change in your mind. That's the first place. Change your mindset.
Yeah. And it's not even having a passion for a job. It's okay with having a job. Don't let that be your only security. Be doing something outside of that. You can have something to lean on. Yeah. Because that's where a lot of us get stuck. It's because we have this one source of income that we're dependent on.
Eggs. You see? Yeah. One basket. You see, you done tripped and all eggs gone. They don't need your profession anymore. Something changes. There's a new boss. They don't like you. They blackball you. And that's all you've ever known. And you break down. It's because you've been at the mercy of someone else. But what if you had multiple streams? It said 7 streams to make a millionaire. You want 7 or you want 1? Let's go get 7, folks. YGB episode 4. We're here for it.
What's up?
We're here for it, folks.
For real, though.
We're here for it. The entrepreneur episode. In front of me right now, I made sure to have it. A Randall's check. When I worked at Randall's. And I worked at Randall's for about 2 years. 2-3 years. It's $100 for 2 weeks of work. How you give a grown man that?
Yeah.
How you give a man that? Come on, man.
$100.
$100 for 2 weeks of work. Minimum wage is trash. If you want something different, here's the episode about changing your mind. How you look at your surroundings with a vision board. How you look at yourself in the mirror. How you look at others. How you look at your brothers when it comes to unity. Stop mugging each other. You know what I'm saying? Open up the door for a dude out of generosity, off of kindness. Pass something. Each one teach one. So it starts there. Like when it comes on the topic of Umar Johnson.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, Dr. Umar Johnson, as it was confirmed this week.
I actually agree with about 60-70% of the things he says.
Me too.
We have to teach our own. We need to stick together. But, we disagree on certain parts. But here's the thing. It's okay to disagree on certain parts.
Yes.
What I'm not here to do is tear down another brother that means something positive. That's what I'm not doing. And now, am I advocating for everything he has? No. Am I defending anything he's done? No. I acknowledge and appreciate the positive he's putting out there. And that's just how I choose to look at my brothers. Another way is to look at how you buy things. If you can afford them or you just buying them. It's a difference between being able to clear the tag and being actually able to afford something. To actually afford something is to think about, what's the tax on this? Will this bill interrupt the flow of things? Am I jeopardizing the necessity for this want? You have to understand that, and we're going to touch into this later when we do our book review and apply segment, but you have to understand that the rich, they buy their luxuries last. The poor buy them first. There's a tool and a technique called delayed gratification. Just wait on it. Just wait on it. It's going to happen if you put the work in. While you waiting on it, put some fat on your head, as Pimp C would say. Learn something. Acquire something called knowledge that maybe can turn into wisdom.
Which brings us to our next segment, book review and apply. And the book we'll be reviewing this week is Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki.
Sock it to me. What did he sock to his paws?
What the book basically says, what the rich teach their kids about money that the poor and middle class do not.
The thing I found interesting about this book is that when I first read this book, I didn't finish it. And the second time I read it, it started to make more sense. I read the book looking for an answer on what business I should start, how to get rich, or what way can I find money.
Same here.
And I didn't get that. And I was a little pissed off about it. It was talking about stuff that I didn't understand at the time, that it starts in my mind, that I have to change the way I'm thinking about it. I have to change the way I'm looking at it. Fuck that. I want to know what business to start so I can make some money. I don't know. And this book, it kind of opens up the door for it brings up a lot of interesting points. We have dreams, but we have to start from the foundation, as this book suggests. So we need to build up our education. One of the favorite things I like about this book is it teaches us about what assets and liability mean. I am a former accountant major, and asset and liability means something completely different in the world of finance. But in the world of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, making your mind up mindset, assets grow, liabilities take. When we think of houses and cars, They're
And
actually
job.
AKA,
just over broke. It's all a liability. It just takes. What this book, to me, it emphasizes on growing and doing for your own, minding your own business, making something happen.
Yes.
Yeah, that's one thing I really
That
like
is
about
one
it.
of my favorite parts in the book about minding your own business.
Mind your own business.
And that's where we say jobs is a liability because it's considered, not minding your own business. You're minding someone else's business. That's their business.
You want to know what's your business? Your business is your legacy.
Yeah.
Your business is your health. Your business is what you have in your bank account after every 2 weeks. Your business is what you have to pass to the next one. Your business is PY1. One of the major things the book talk about is paying yourself first. Mm-hmm. You know where all these money for investment come from? Paying yourself first. You're the first person before Uncle Sam, before the light company, before rent, before everybody get yours
and
first.
Before your job, again, I say before your job, you're investing in a job. Let's say you're at a company for 20, 30, 40 years. That's 40 years you invested your life into one source of income.
One source. You got to diversify your binds, B. And it begs the question if you want to live or if you want to survive.
Yeah.
To live is to go enjoy. I understand that there will be sacrifices, but while there are sacrifices, there got to be good living. And you can put on your back forever, but let's work smarter, not harder, fam. How about we do that? It's time we learn from these books. We learn from each other. Observe your emotions. Watch yourself. Replay it in your mind. How did you react to that situation? Did it feel good? In the end, was it positive for you? Did you win in the end? What was the outcome? Consequences. Was it positive? Did you win? But not only learning all these new techniques, because there's a difference between knowledge and power. Knowledge is knowledge. Knowledge is not power. We said that before. Knowledge, yeah, you know, but do you apply? When you apply knowledge, that becomes power. That's what we want. Power. Power. As the intro say.
And that's what the book really touches on too, is changing that mindset and just really giving you that perspective from financially free dad and educated dad, aka rich dad, poor dad.
Poor dad wasn't necessarily broke,
Yeah.
but he was poor as far as freedom. And it becomes about what do you think is a win in life. Self-reflection is important because you have to heal yourself with the mental health from last episode and then know yourself, see what you like, what you don't like. If you don't like going to work or commute, or if you have a better idea or you think you're meant for something different in this world, you can have it. And that's what Financial Free Dad, aka Rich Dad, that's what he advocated, is going out there and learning, working, taking advantage of laws that make sure that you can win in the long haul. One thing that I really enjoy is knowing the difference between present value and future value. That's one of the things the book talks about. And on Vestopedia.com, that's a really good website for learning a lot of things about business. It gives you a good definition of PV versus FV. PV, not preview, versus FV. Present value versus future value. Take a car note, for example. Let's say you have bad credit, but you got a good job. You want a $20,000 car. Okay, that's a lie, but your credit a little fucked up from payday loans, for fucking around, or for whatever it is. So they give you 18% interest rate, but you can swing about $400-500 a month. So that's what you do. 5-year note with $1,000 down. That's a $20,000 car end up costing you $30,000. That's a $10K interest. You know what you could do with $10K? Make millions. Make millions. If you cut the leaky faucet off, you will be surprised how much money on the ground. That's why a budget is so important. This is part of a budget.
And that's why your credit is important also. These things like car and a home sometimes, this is how they kind of turn, and this is what the book talks about, where they turn into a liability, because this is what prevents us from getting business credit, getting a loan, to open a business, because we're in so much debt. That's considered debt on your credit.
Yeah, you have to understand, all that stuff can wait. Delayed gratification. The rich buy their luxuries last. The poor buy them first. Remember that. Assets. Let me talk to you real quick what an asset is. An asset is something that you don't have to wake up and go to every day. An asset is making your money a servant. No longer being a servant to your money. Money is a bullshit ass master, but it's an excellent hoe. Let me talk to you. Money will get out there and work and walk for you and go. It's an excellent servant, but a trash master. So you need assets, something that, my mind, my brilliance can create, my money can create. So I'm going to go invest this. Maybe it's investing in saving in yourself. PY1, pay yourself first. Maybe I'm investing in my child's future and starting to save. Maybe I want to take it more than saving, and I want to try the stocks, bonds, Forex. But guess what? Google's your friend, bruh. You can look it all up. Stocks, bonds, Forex. Don't ever ask me if Forex is legal again. If anyone ever asks me if Forex is legal again, I'm going to block you and I'm going to delete you. Shut up. I don't want to hear it. Look it up. Google, Investopedia. The tools are right in front of us. They're right there. So start looking these things up. Putting some fat on your head. Without fat on your head, you cannot lead. Without lead, how are you going to turn around men to the women, to the kids? How you gonna turn around and make sure you can look them in their eye and say, okay, I'll follow you? How can you say that if you ain't got it? You can't pretend forever, bruh. That's bullshit. You can fake it until you make it. What happens when you there and you looking like a bitch? Right near the beach, looking like a bitch. Bad debt and silly things like that. So let's clean that up. So first, learn, apply. Then you can turn around and pass it on. You know what happens when you sow into a child? We look online every day, Facebook. We see these excellent stories of little kids with $1 million industries. The little guy who wanted to buy a pair of Jordans, and his mom said, no, you can invest in Jordans. So now he has enough stock in the Jordans where they send him free Jordans. Or maybe it's like LeVar Ball and his son Lonzo.
Yeah.
Who put his son on, who's going to put his sons on, BBB. You can say what you want about it. I bet you know it. I bet you know it. Shit, that's all I got to say. That's it. That's all I'm saying about it. I bet you know it. That is all I'm saying about it. Sow into a kid, and you can see beautiful things happen. Sow into yourself, and you can see your own ideas manifest before yourself. Create. You know, all that starts in your mind. I don't know your business. I don't know if you're going to choose to start a service or a product. I don't know if you're going to check up to investing. I don't know if you're going to take up to blogging. I don't know what you're going to do. Who am I to say what you are meant for? Only you know that. You and God. So go ahead and get yourself right. Read up. While you waiting, you waiting anyway. You ain't doing shit but losing and waiting. Why you losing and waiting? Put some fat on your head like Pimp C say. Go ahead and be live. Think about it for a second. We done got some game. You done apply. You're passing it on to your circle. You're turning your own people into warriors to go fight, to go win. You done took your woman and loved her and sold into her. And guess what? It's vice versa. Every great relationship is vice versa. Who knows what you for the untapped by just doing it one time? You know what they say? A man loves a woman and she returns it tenfold. What happens if you give her some game? Who knows? What game she gonna give? Oh, it could be incredible. And learning and protection from yourself and the outside elements and all the forces to do and all the most scam ass niggas. The most super scam ass niggas, and pardon the word, but I'm talking to you, scam ass nigga. To you, credit card scam ass nigga. You trash scam ass nigga. I'm talking to you. And here's the thing, the beauty of a scam ass nigga can be any race. It's a person who really think that bullshit ass, dry, dead ass hustle is working. Robbing honest people. What happened? You know what's funny about these people? They never seem to get ahead. They always trying these dead ass vector, dead ass, you want to buy some bullshit, you know, hey brother, how's your electricity today? Leave me alone. Whatever you do to get your money, you can't go to sleep with. If you can't tell your mama, if you won't be proud to meet your maker and announce to him what you do to provide a living for your family, don't do it. And think about it. They ain't no 401k for a hustler. You got to rinse that money. You got to clean that shit up, change it up, get smarter. That's all we're advocating, is to get smarter, to get better, evolve. Okay, I understand there wasn't no other option. And no one can tell a man what to do when there's someone at home starving, hungry, someone screaming. I don't give a fuck what he had to do to feed him, but he had to do it. But now that they'd have been fed that plate, in between that, we need to thank for our blessings. Thanks for those. We got that moment we can think about it. Okay, now what are we going to do now? We're going to get smarter. We're going to get involved. We're going to evolve. This fast money, how can I clean it up? How can I make it do something smarter? Think about it. And it's funny because all the Nicky Barnes and all the famous dope dealers that got caught up, they really should have been the best CEOs. They really were supposed to be, but they didn't have the education. They didn't have the direction to do it. This was the only way they knew how to. It was the only way that made sense. Thinking of doing something else, that's barbaric. Look, I'm making $1 million here. Why they say it's wrong? Wrong is perspective. As they say, we don't got no boats. We ain't got no poppy seed fields. Nigga, we ain't bringing that shit in. You know, but it was there, so we made something happen. But we took the fall for it. These were CEOs that should have been having something popping, bringing it back to their community. What they did, can I justify? No. Am I trying to? No. I'm just saying. That's all. So we gotta smarten up. If we clean us's up, we's be live, man. You guys said it before. Hey, did you listen to him? Did you listen to him or this is your first show? Come on, man. Episode 4. Get up, get out, and get something. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Richard Kiyosaki.
Yeah, it was a great book. And it just also teaches you, on how to get started. If you want to start your own business.
Small black businesses. I love them. Support them, do them, build them. If it's your idea, make it happen.
Yeah. And one of the first steps is learning, different laws pertaining to whatever it is that you're wanting to pursue, desire, like, You don't want to get Wesley sniped from across the street. So you got to learn which laws and which taxes to do. And the crazy part is, boys have been cleaning up on that shady ass tax system for so long and all those laws. So there's this guy that kind of is a president. That old dirt ass. This is not a political show. That gentleman has a book about the art of the deal, and it's almost basically about how to use these taxes and laws to your advantage so you can pay the less taxes and you can pocket most of your money. But learning the laws are important and where to get started. Like, do you go to your county clerk office and get your DBA, your doing business as? Do you trademark your name? Do you copyright your material? The good thing is, I don't have to be a professional about a lot of things. Here's what I can do. Google. I can Investopedia, and I can confirm sources. I can look things up, and I can decide for myself because I've spent time with myself and learned myself. You know what? I can learn to do that. You know what? I need to outsource that. These are things we need to do. So we need to learn what all these things mean. Do I want a DBA? Do I want a sole proprietorship? What do I want to do? Do I want all the blame on me? What's bankruptcy? For so long, I thought bankruptcy was something bad. Bad thing.
And it turns out bankruptcy is a way they let people wash their hands.
Yeah, because so many people I know say, about their president, that he's in bankruptcy, and I'm like, and what has it done for him?
Has he stopped eating?
Yeah, no, not at all.
And one thing I want you to understand, because this is not a political show, and we're not for nor against anyone here, but progress for our people. That's all we here for. What I want you to understand is that you can learn from everywhere. You can learn from, and see, if you start being a sponge for information and learning how to filter out the good and the bad, you'll be able to learn from everywhere. You can learn from your enemy even. Your enemy even. Your enemy who's trying to crush you don't know they could drop jewels on how to defeat them. If you peep, observe. So learn from everywhere. Take the good from all situations and just drop the bad. I have 2 older brothers. One's an HPD sergeant, they were episode 2. The other's a truck driver who spent some time in jail before. Both of them had great lessons. Both of them had bad lessons. You absorb the good and then you proceed on. And guess what? That's all they want. They want you to be better than them. They want you to get liver. They want to sow into you so you can sow into them and sow into their kids. That's what it's all about. And that's why buying black is so important. The same way we do with knowledge, we can do with dollars. I pour into you, you pour into me. You have a viable product or service. Your customer service is on. We can buy into each other. And the book is all about creating something new and being something different. So you got to get started. And that means learning the law. So go ahead and go out there and get your DBA if that's what it needs to be if you have a business or a service.
And that's by looking up different laws, copyrights, DBAs, owning. And that's just, guys, by simply like Googling. We spend, a lot of time on social media.
Your phone.
Minding other people's business and not our own business. Utilize that time. Take some time out to Google this stuff. If, it's the information is out there. Whatever you're looking for. You want to learn about a DBA, Google just DBA.
Yeah, you have to make it a priority. You have to learn. You have to plan. You have to execute. You have to achieve. Step by step. You have to learn that information and decide to be live. To make that promise to yourself and those around you that you finna be live. It's not the smart that get ahead. It's the bold. Go bold. Go brave. My father left me with that message. Go bold. Go brave. Make sure that you put your foot down when you do it. You step with it with intensity. You go.
And there's hope for everyone, even ex-cons. I believe entrepreneurship is actually one of the best ways for an ex-con, to utilize, being that the workforce in certain laws allow those with a record, prevent a job. Yeah.
So you create your product or you provide a service, and not that you're hiding the fact, but no one's asking for a resume. You're out there creating something. Like my brother, truck driving. That's an easy way for anybody, ex-con or not, to hit 100,000 a year or so. And so it's just about figuring out what talent you have, what product or service you want to offer to the world.
And especially if you're just, getting out, the internet alone is a tool to use.
You have to learn that. You got to get on that and learn that quickly. It's all about changing your mindset, changing how you attack the world, and changing what you spend your time on. Mm-hmm. We have a lot to do between getting your health right, your mental, physical, getting your family life right, getting your pockets right, getting your study time right. We have so much to do. You really have to focus on where you put your time management. Mm-hmm. You really have to focus where it goes. And life is about balance. Balance is the key. If you can get all three, the Holy Trinity working, the mind, the body, and the spirit working on balance, you'll be cool. And sometimes, and I know it's going to sound wrong, and I don't want it to sound that way. I want you to understand that I come from a place of love and anger and pain on how we've been treated in this country. But I want you to understand that sometimes we focus on racism too much. And I'm not saying we don't have to fight racism, because we have to fight racism every day. Mm-hmm. But I'm saying while we're fighting racism, as we're fighting racism, we need to fight racism, and we need to learn. While we fight racism, we need to learn and plan and try different markets, and also study how the market works and study how stocks work, and go out there and read and run. We also have to do other things. We have to focus. We have to multitask. Mm-hmm. That's what we have to do, actual multitask. Sometimes I think a lot of people, they focus on too much of one thing, and it leaves us standing still, asking the same questions. I am tired of being in a group where we just talk about things. I want to be somewhere where we make something happen.
And no don't want to go nowhere.
Don't want to go nowhere. It's all beautiful ideas. Mm-hmm. Well, it's all beautiful ideas. Well, how about we make something happen? So let's not focus on one thing too much. Let's not focus on money too much. That's greedy. Let's not focus on racism too much. When are we going to grow into our actual passions or our careers? Let's not focus on careers too much. What about family?
And honestly, from my perspective, racism is always going to be here, if you ask me. It's not saying that we have to accept it. I would definitely say anybody that deals with racism, stand up for yourself. Racism is always going to be here.
Yeah, we may not can't end racism, but we can change the way they handle us.
Exactly.
We can do that. Exactly. We can change the way they handle us, because we got $1.3 trillion of buying power that we swing, and we swing recklessly. If we start hurting those pockets, then we'll get felt. Then we'll get a little understanding. Then it'll be a little bit more, okay. What happens when you start taking pensions away? What happens when we start feeding ourselves with co-op gardens and things like that are protected by the neighborhood? You remember when the Black Panthers, they used to pull up when boys got pulled over just to make sure a lot of things are all right. That was kind of gangster. That was kind of gangster, as I was saying. We have to change our mindset. That's all. What I want you to do is think about all the ways you may have changed your mindset or things that work for you in life, and you might want to pass on. I want you to send that to us. Let us share that with the world. Let's share our game. You share your game. Let's make each other better. So send submissions to our email address, which is younggiftedblack@gmail.com. That's younggiftedblack@gmail.com. And make sure to follow us on IG at _YGB_podcast. And on Facebook at YGB Podcast, one word.
Also, guys, we definitely would like some feedback on how you're liking the show, letting us know. And if you would like us to add anything in the show, if you want us to talk about a certain topic.
Open forum, please let us know. So this has been episode 4. Get up, get out, get something. Change your mindset. Jesus said you gotta believe. Episode 4 was beautiful. Episode 5 will be even better. We are your hosts. I am KB.
And I am Shante.
Shante, please catch us next time. Thank you for listening. YGB. Doom, da, doom, da, doom.
Peace.